Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here, and let's wake up the football gods here on this Taco Tuesday. And of course, I'm getting back into the swing of things after being gone down to Stuart Morrison's house and doing all the stuff fulfilling his last request. I'm getting back into the groove of everything that is my world, and I am so far behind. Actually going down the country here to start working on the red brick house, to start getting some of that stuff together, because I believe we're going to be tearing off the kitchen wall and rebuilding the kitchen floor first. And that'll give us a base to kind of start working on the other stuff. Anyway, be that as it may, we are talking about the Dallas Cowboys. This is that what? Oh, I just couldn't remember if I turned on the football gods or not. Interesting thing about the football gods. When we were doing the tour of the Star, when you're coming down the last stretch before you go into the media room, they have one of their meeting rooms that's right there beside it. And my wife was the one who noticed. I didn't even notice it. They have the football gods right there. They have a set of the football gods there at at the Star. The library. Okay.
They call it the library.
They call it the library. In the library, they have the football gods. But guess what? That's not the only place. We now know that Tony Dorsett has one because I educated him about the screws on the bottom. We now know they have one at the Star. But even bigger, you won't believe where else the football gods are. Brian Green has a set of them too. So it's kind of cool to see and know all these great people and great places that the football gods are. If you have a set or you've seen a set someplace, let me know, because I'd like to know who else has one of these things, because these truly are one of the greatest gifts I've been ever given by Joseph Heatherly. And Joseph gave them to me because he said, you know what, by me giving them to you, I see them every day because I pop up there on the channel and there they are. Anyway, this season, this is the hold your breath time. This is the 5 weeks before training camp. And, you worry that, will somebody get in trouble? Somebody go out to Vegas or Florida in a bar and have a fight or something like that? Will somebody, cut themselves, cutting a bagel, or slip out at the pool trying to catch their cell phone? You worry about the players having free time, and will they continue to work out, stay in shape, get their mind right for the season and come back unscathed or with no worries of being suspended. Now, we've gotten a little taste. Part of the problem is that, yesterday we heard, Kellen Moore was considered one of the top play callers, in fact, number 2. And technically, if you looked at the first half of the season, you could say that, yeah, the play calling was working really well. The Cowboys were lighting it up, and they still finished up with the number 1 scoring offense in the NFL. But clearly, health became a problem. Health became a problem for the Dallas Cowboys. When Dak Prescott throwing the game-winning touchdown pass against New England, when he came down, he ended up straining his calf. That alone changed the dynamics of the team. You looked at how the Cowboys were so good with play action and moving the pocket. They were the most effective team in football. After the calf injury, their numbers went downhill. But wait, there's more, because you acted right now. As much as people want to say that Zeke Elliott just got old, he played with a partial tear in his knee for the rest of the season after week 4. I don't know about you, but if you have a tear in your knee, you're probably not going to be able to cut as well. You're probably not going to be as effective. You're probably getting your legs shot up for painkillers. You're probably going to have swelling. You're probably going to be doing a lot of rehab. You're probably not going to be able to practice the same, which means you're not going to play the same. Tony Pollard tore, complete tear of his plantar fasciitis. Again, that's one of those things that's kind of like Jalen Smith with the drop foot. As a running back, you need to be able to push off, be able to cut, plant, and go. Probably slowed him down as well. Tyron Smith, the big guy. The big guy early in the season was throwing people left and right. After the injuries and him coming back, he wasn't the same. Here's the key for the Dallas Cowboys. Health is going to make all the difference in the world. And I'll put in there DeMarcus Lawrence breaking his foot in practice after week 1 and missing many games, 8 games, 9 games. I'll put in there Neville Gallimore, who we expected to have a breakout season, hyperextending his elbow and not being able to play until, the last 5 games of the season. Health is going to be key for the Dallas Cowboys because injuries hurt. But when you talk about your key players, all of the Dallas Cowboys' key players, with the exception of Zach Martin, were injured last year. Tyron Smith on your offensive line. La'el Collins, who, that was self-inflicted, but it wasn't an injury, missed significant time and never really got into the groove because of missing drug tests. Your top running back, Zeke Elliott. Your second best running back, Tony Pollard. And more importantly, your quarterback. And once those things happen, the play calling is not as easy because you don't have as many things and weapons that you can use. Teams don't look at the same players and put fear in that they do with a healthy Zeke Elliott. You don't necessarily put 8 men in the box for that. So the key for the Cowboys is their stars have to stay healthy. And no better one to stay healthy than Dak Prescott. Say what you will about Dak Prescott, that he's an average quarterback. I know, a lot of people say that, especially some Cowboy fans. He's not average. He's above average. If he's healthy and able to move around, he outside of the pocket is one of the best quarterbacks in football. When he's on the move, the run-pass option, he's not a running quarterback per se, like Lamar Jackson. But he can take off and pick up first downs, key yardage, touchdowns and things. Could not do it this past season. And when he's outside of the pocket and can plant and use his mechanics, he is deadly at hitting guys because you have to respect the run, but he'll find the guy that's open. Let's go to actually Michael Vick, one of the best running quarterbacks in the history of football, and listen to what he had to say about the whole situation.
You might not be aware, but Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy said, Chris, that there's going to be more runs in the game plan for Dak Prescott now that he's feeling spry and healthy. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. More quarterback runs and quarterback movement plays this season.
What do you think of that, Michael? What do you think of that?
I think that's awesome.
Okay.
You can go back and look at a lot of my clips from last year on FS1. We were ever talking about the Dallas Cowboys, I've always been an advocate for Dak just pulling it down, running more, just using his mobility and being more of a dual threat. I think it'll help the Cowboys in so many ways. Take a lot of pressure off him in his game as well.
Well, the pressure I think they should be, the pressure valve that they should turn is Tony Pollard. But I think that's kind of a third-rail subject matter because then you're asking, what about Zeke? I think there's enough possessions, and I think there's enough footballs to go around for both of them. Michael?
Yeah, well, I think at this point in time, Dak has been the quarterback for the last 5 years. Zeke has been there for 4 or 5 years. And you got all these new guys coming in and all these moving parts and good players. But, it's like the Golden State Warriors right now. It's all about winning. No matter how it gets done,
right? Just
go out and find a way to win the game, and I think that's what it's coming down to for the Dallas Cowboys. And yes, Tony Pollard is a lightning rod, and I love the 1-2 punch, but find different ways to use them and use them sometimes it's a decoy to free up other guys. And when Pollard's in the game, he's probably going to get the ball 9 times out of 10. So I just think it's up to them to, just revamp the offense and use Dak's mobility to kind of gauge everything else.
Well, I guess it's good news that he feels, healthy and spry enough to do it. I'm just concerned about putting him out there. Quarterback movement plays, I'm all for, but actual calling plays like he's Lamar to have him run or Josh Allen, I'm not into that idea at all, Yeah,
there's such thing as reverse psychology too, Rich. Like, he could be saying that just to, make the first 4 teams that they face during the season be a little leery of what Dak might be trying to do, or you might see it a little bit in preseason. You might see some in game 1, but it's a great strategy and definitely good gamesmanship by the coaches right now.
All that said, I gotta have you choose an NFC team to make the Super Bowl this year. Which one is it right now?
Oh, man, that's a tough question there early June, Rich. But I will talk about some of the contenders. I definitely think Tom's coming back for a reason, and I think what they're doing right now in terms of just management leadership, it's something going on over there that between Tom and Byron, and I think it's going to be special. Aaron returning to Green Bay, he lost Devontae Adams. Get Sammy Watkins, so we'll see how that unfolds. And you're going to see the Rams. You got Aaron Donald signed back. I think that's a plus. And then the San Francisco 49ers, I like them with Jimmy at the helm, and I like the guys that's being put in place. And, as long as they get the ball in the hands of Deebo Samuel, I think they'll be all right. So those are 4 competitive teams that I think will be definitely playing in the finals.
Michael.
Okay. All right. Interesting take on that. The key in the NFL, here's the thing. Just bottom line. Defenses are so fast. They're strong. They're quick. They move around well. The reality is you cannot just say, we're just going to be able to pound our ass right through you. What you have to do is you have to be able to spread defenses out. You have to stretch the field. You have to make defenses cover as many things as possible. When the Dallas Cowboys running game, because of the offensive line not being there and injuries started to happen, ended up going downhill, it became one-dimensional where it was just the passing game, which ends up making it easier for defensive coordinators. You must be able to keep teams honest where they have to cover everything. And Dak Prescott being able to run, being able to move, being able to get outside the pocket is key to all of that. Let's be clear here. We need our team to stay healthy. If we can be clicking on all cylinders, this offense could be unstoppable. If we end up having the injuries that we had last year, well, we're going to see the same kind of results as we kind of tailed off. So with that being said, I got to get on the road again and get down here and get some work done. But, of course, we're going to be able to keep up with you guys with all the news that is the Dallas Cowboys. I'm Mark Holmes, and, well, you know how we roll.
Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report.